Hi, my name's Lara. Welcome to Inner Goddess Guidance. Um, I am a personal coach and I was a teacher for many years. I consider myself a divine feminine on the twin flame path, and I've created this channel to assist other divine feminines and women in particular who are needing a little bit of guidance on their own journey to self-discovery and self-mastery and healing. I use tools and techniques and just information from my own journey as well as from my coaching practice and teaching for many years. So the idea here is that I'm trying to bring some of the exercises and skills that I've used that have helped me along my journey to a place where I really feel like I have something that I can assist others with. And my goal is for you to get in touch with that beautiful light inside of you that can shine your path. And in healing, often what I feel is that I'm removing clutter or debris that was clouding my inner light, that beautiful soul light that we all have. And as I remove the debris, I get closer to my true authentic self, my higher self, if you will, and bringing my divine gifts out and expressing them to the world. And gosh, I think if we can all do that, it would be a really beautiful place. So that is my goal for you. Today, I want to talk about, yesterday I worked with alignment and I talked about aligning to a vision. That first you need a vision in order to be able to know what you're aligning to. And today I want to talk about another component related to alignment, which is getting in touch with your core values. And I look at our soul, that inner light that we have, as being sort of like our North Star. Our higher self is this constant that can guide us when we get in touch with it. Our values create our compass, and our compass provides that main tool that we use to guide us on our course. So the vision is where we want to go. Our compass keeps us centered in who we are, and so that we can align most clearly where our steps are or our actions are toward that vision or creating that vision. So when we think about values, we think about what we place importance on. And a lot of our values by the time we're adults come from other people and other places. As we were growing up, we took on our family values, we took on society's values, we took on our religion's values. And a lot of those values can be values that really are truly aligned with our own core values. We want those values, we appreciate those values. Others of those values, we might have taken them and sort of ingested them without really owning them. They didn't resonate. They weren't true for us. And so there's a wonderful exercise that you can use to get in touch with what your core values are. And this is an exercise that I use with my coaching clients. It is brain-based, and it comes from a modality known as neurocoaching that was pioneered by a man named Mark Robert Waldman. And you can look him up. He's written lots and lots of books about the brain functions and how they work, and our neurons and the connections, and then how different things impact them. So one of the things that we can do to get in touch with our own core values is to deeply relax, almost like getting into a meditative state. And he has a great sort of hack for that, and that is to yawn. And so with my clients, I will direct them with a bell, to play a bell, and have them listen to the bell, close their eyes, and yawn 3 times very deeply. And as you're yawning, to take a very slow stretch. And as you're slowly stretching, just to notice where you're holding any tension in your body. That's not to judge it, but just to notice it. And the yawning has been shown through brain scans to be able to activate very quickly the same parts of our brain that are activated during very deep meditation. It also calms your prefrontal cortex, as well as that fight or flight response in our amygdala. So if you're experiencing any stress in your life, or you have a stressful situation, one great way to relax yourself very quickly is to take a deep breath and yawn, even if you're faking it at first, because just doing the action will relax you. And once you're on the third yawn, it's usually a pretty legit yawn. It feels really good. So you can do this completely on your own. You could pause the video right now, and if you want to, take a quick assessment of where you're starting at in terms of your body and your tension and your feelings right now on a scale of 1 to 10, how relaxed or how much tension you feel like you're holding. And then after you yawn, and slowly, as slow as you can, as you do that 3 times, you can then, reassess where you're at in terms of your relaxation. And you should notice pretty quickly that your relaxation capacity increases and your tension decreases. So when you're in that state, you can simply ask yourself the following questions. What is my greatest personal value? And when you ask yourself that question, just allow a word or a phrase to come up, and take the first one that comes up without judging it. And then ask yourself again, what is another personal value? And let another word come up. Do this about 3 or 4 times. Allow yourself to come up with several words. When you've done that, as you do that, you'll be going deeper and deeper into your intuition. Maybe your first word really resonates. Maybe by the time you get to the 4th word, you're like, wow, that's really the word I was looking for. And notice that we do sort of visualize the word or hear the word in our head. When that happens, you should also notice a change in your state of feeling in your body, like just how your emotional self feels. Because as we focus on our greatest values, we feel good. It just makes us feel good. So when I think about compassion, and I just think over and over, compassion, 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 my body is actually feeling so relaxed and good, and it's being flooded with nice chemicals that make us feel just good. Another question to ask yourself as your eyes are closed, after you've done that, you might jot down those words in your journal that you came up with. Another one is to ask yourself, what is my greatest relationship value? And do the same thing. Go through it 3 or 4 times. My greatest relationship value. And then the last one that I wrote down here was my greatest work value or my greatest career value. And do that the same way 3 or 4 times. And what you will find is that these words come up, they very much resonate, and then you know what you have to work with. That becomes your compass. Don't worry about the fact that, it's not set in stone, because our values can fluctuate. The words can change a little bit over time as you develop more connection to your values. You might find them clarifying with different words. So I wanted to tell you about a wonderful website that you can go to. It's called myintent.org. And if you want to look up, they have a YouTube video. It's my intent / what's your word. Because once you find one word that really stands out to you, peace, compassion, love, kindness, generosity, honesty, integrity, that can be a word that really gives you grounding when you need it. And this particular website, and it tells the background of the man that created these bracelets. You can order your own bracelet. It's on like a washer, and your word will be imprinted onto that bracelet. And they're quite popular, not very expensive. And then when you are experiencing in your daily life some, let's say, stress or something comes up, maybe you're triggered in a situation, you can look down at your bracelet and or just even touching your bracelet itself will actually trigger your brain again to go back to that core value. And it's very soothing. It's very comforting to be able to do that. So to ground yourself in the moment with that. I don't have one of those bracelets, but I do have a bracelet that my sister gave me recently, and it's really, really tiny printed on here, but it says live in joy. Live in joy. And so I like to wear that to remind myself, just to come back to, am I experiencing as much joy as I can right now? Even wearing the symbol of a compass for me is a way of remembering to stay in touch with my values, my grounding, my who I am, my core, right? Because your values kind of are at the core of who you are. I have found that by clarifying my values and my vision, by adding those two together, I am better able to align my daily behavior, my actions, my choices with my higher self, with my goals. And it has really been a beautiful experience to find myself in a situation where before I knew I might get triggered, I might sort of lose control of my emotional self, especially. And then find that I'm the calm in the storm, that I've found the eye of the hurricane, that everything else can be going on around me, but I'm still solid. And it doesn't mean that I'm not impacted by the things that are going on around me, or I don't wish that they were different. But I do feel more like, I call it like a Weeble. They used to have these little toys when I was little. They were called Weebles, and they always said Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. And they were like these little things that you could you could play with, and they sort of always came back to center. And that's how I feel. I feel more like a Weeble. I can wobble, but I don't fall down. I come back. So that leads me into talking about one of the words that has guided me for the past 3 years, and that's the word resilience. So that is one of my core values. And what I found is that when I started to be clear that resilience was this beautiful quality that I really valued, I started being able to cultivate resilience in myself, to see resilience in the world and in other people, and to see even in struggling times or situations that seemed difficult and daunting, that I could keep my focus on the resilience. What am I going to do to get back up again? I know that I'm down right now, but I'm resilient. And it's just really been beautiful. I don't know if you've ever had the experience, I hope you have, of knowing inside yourself in a moment that you were touching the very best of who you are. And it's not about anybody giving you any feedback for that. It's not about anybody saying, hey, You did a great job. Or I really like that. I had an incident recently where I could have, well, I'll just say it. I was in a situation with somebody I truly care about, my beloved, and he asked me to please allow him space and to step away and to leave. And I would have normally felt rejected, triggered, sad, maybe a bit distraught, hurt, and a lot of other things. But in that moment, I didn't feel that way. And driving away from that situation, which was like a month ago now, I felt good. I actually felt inside myself kind of like, Lara, you passed a test. Wow, look at where you are. This is okay. You're still in balance. It was a good thing. So I share that with you because that to me is what alignment is about. Things can happen around us. That doesn't necessarily mean we like them or we wanted them to happen, but we're still standing. And it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And I want that for you. So align yourself to figure out what your values are, your vision is, and then your steps will fall into place. Your behavior patterns, your ability to adapt in the moment will happen. Okay, so today I'd like to do the invocation and pull a goddess oracle card, then a healing card, and then a universe has your back card. So let's see what spirit has in store for us. Dear spirit of the universe, of love and light, please be with us in this time and place as we focus our collective intention on gaining wisdom and guidance for our journey toward healing and self-mastery. We ask for open hearts and minds to receive the messages that will serve our highest and best good in the service of love in all forms. With deep gratitude, thank you. Okay, so I pulled from this deck. It's an oracle deck called the Goddess Oracle by Amy Sophia Marashinsky, illustrated by Hannah Janto. Spirit, would you please give us one goddess energy that's working with us today to guide us through our day. Give us support, a lesson, oh, that's it. Maeve, responsibility. Well, that's wonderful because really that is what alignment is. It's your ability to respond. So when I was talking about resilience and being aligned with your values, right, it gives us the ability to respond in ways that are of our highest and best good. So we'll find out about Maeve here, responsibility. Beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. All right, Maeve. I am a warrioress of the heart. I am queen of the domain of myself. I am able to respond in all situations from the knowledge of who I am. My actions are who I am. My beliefs are who I am. All I do is who I am. That which is outside of me stays outside of me. That which I choose to let in, I own and acknowledge. How can you be responsible if you do not own all aspects of yourself? How can you be accountable without being queen over your own domain? How can you serve your consort, your children, your community, if you are unwilling to acknowledge and answer for yourself? God, that's beautiful. Maeve, whose name means intoxicating, was associated with Ireland and represented the land's sovereignty and its magical center, Tara. Over time, she became diminished to Maeve, the queen, who could outrun horses, confer with birds, and bring men into the heat of desire with a mere look. In the Irish epic, the Tainbo Culiang, I don't know what that's. Maeve argues with her king over who has the most wealth, since in Celtic custom, the wealthier one of the partnership is the ruler. He won because he had a magical bull. She decided to steal a magical red bull for herself. After much battle and bloodshed, Maeve won the red bull. However, when the two bulls met, they ripped each other to shreds. Meaning of the card. Maeve strides boldly into your life to challenge you with the task of taking responsibility for your life. It is time for you to become queen of your domain. And by becoming aware of and then accountable for all that you do, all that you are, all that you believe. Are there places within you that seem as uncertain as uncharted waters? Do you seem to live your life on automatic, as if you've been programmed by someone else? Perhaps you have been drifting along in a particular situation instead of finding out if this is the best place for you. Or you are not willing to own your own pieces to acknowledge what you have done to help create the situation or relationship you are now in. Maeve is here to remind you that the way to wholeness is by taking responsibility for your life, whatever shape it is in. For only by taking responsibility, by acknowledging where you are, who you are, what you are, can you create something different. Beautiful. I don't even think we need to talk much about that because I feel like it's so in alignment with everything I already talked about with your values, that once you know your values, you have your vision, you can align your steps with that. If you are in a situation you don't like, the question is, what got you there? Do you have a value that you've sort of taken from society and it's led you on a course that you're not happy with? I can think of many examples of that in my own life. So going in and cutting out those values that you took on that really aren't yours so that you can realign and feel better with what are your true inner core values, right? And your mission and your destiny, your light. Anyway, beautiful. Okay, Spirit, give us another great card for our healing today. Oh, and I want to tell you, this comes from this deck, fall over. It's Healing Cards, Daily Practice for Maintaining Spiritual Balance, and it's by Carolyn Miss. And again, I see that the glare there, it's better that way. Okay. So one healing card with some healing advice for us, please. Thank you. Just one healing card, please, Spirit. Okay. This says, happy is the one who attends to the needy. And it says on the back here, how easily are you irritated by the needs of others? Give away some of your time today, but not in a therapeutic sense. Attending to the needy also includes surprise acts of kindness. Surprise acts of kindness. When we do something without asking for anything, it truly is unconditional. So to do something, a surprise act of kindness, without any need to get any recognition, not even a thank you, nothing. It's sort of like you know inside of yourself you did something good. Again, that same thing of I'm doing something not because of anything anybody else is going to give me back, but because it aligns with my path and my truth and what I want to do and give truly unconditionally, truly as a gift. So, you could make an affirmation for the day that's based solely on the goddess energy, Maeve, and responsibility. I will be responsible for my own. I will. Today, I give myself the opportunity to be truly responsible for my life path. Today, I will reflect upon responsibility I take in my life. Today, I take full responsibility for where I am and how I got here. All of those options. And another one is just to say today I will give myself the opportunity to give unconditionally through a random act of kindness. I'm not sure how to bring these together. If you have a good idea of how you might merge these two into one beautiful affirmation, type it in the comment box because I'm not coming up with anything right now. Okay. And finally, one just asking Spirit how the universe has our back today. Give us one positive message, please, Spirit. Just a message of, oh, that came out fast. There's actually two that came out together here. So I'll do them both. And it's interesting because one is dark and one is light. Contrasts. Okay, so the dark one says, I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. And this one says, when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Those go together actually pretty beautifully, right? So if you find yourself feeling fear today, you find yourself triggered by fear, you might ask yourself, what's my responsibility here, right? But also ask for guidance. Ask for your teachers. I sort of sometimes think of my spirit guides as my teachers. And I have several people I've just sort of placed on that team that help guide me. And sometimes I call on each one, I call on one specifically, you know. I have Maya Angelou is on my spirit team. Dr. Martin Luther King is on my spirit team. Gandhi and Frida Kahlo and Mr. Rogers is on my spirit team. And so, you know, they're my teachers, and I've put them there because I know that if I can ask, what would Maya Angelou say to me right now? It helps give me guidance. So I will always be guided back to the light. Always be guided back to the light. Reminds me of talking about the inner North Star too. Your light is inside of you. Your light is inside of you. So Have a beautiful, wonderful, lovely day. Have fun writing in your journal. Don't forget the end of the day to go back and really review your day to see what messages, sort of threads that you see, themes throughout the day, to work with any questions that came up for you. Remember not to judge it harshly. There's no right. There's just work. And the work of delving into ourselves takes time. Be patient with yourself and loving. Show yourself loving kindness. And last but not least, give your brain the gift of finding one thing to be grateful for at the end of the day. The last thing you should do before you go to sleep is just give your brain the gift of one beautiful thought, something you're truly blessed for today. We can always find at least one thing to be grateful for. Okay, have a wonderful day. Thanks for showing up. Like, subscribe, comment. All of that would be really super. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.